how would you like to make $500,000 in 2022 or whatever year we're in by the time you're watching this? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So let's make your New Year's resolutions, which I'm sure has something to do with financial gain, into a reality here. Let's talk about it. All right, so $500,000, that's a significant amount of money. And the examples I'm going to be using here may not apply to you, but you can use the same exact principles of what I'm talking about, no matter what your budget is, no matter where you're starting, to do something similar that I'm going to be talking about on here. So for this video, I'm going to be talking about, guess what? Buying businesses. Because if you don't know, my name is Greg. I work at Empire Flippers and we help people buy and sell online businesses all the time. So I am going to help you understand how you can make $500,000 or right around there by buying businesses. And there's really two different ways you can do it. The first one is the most capital intensive, and the one I will tell you to do later is probably one of the least capital intensive ways of doing this. But both of them require capital. And just remember, if you don't have this kind of capital just like laying around, that's okay. Just lower your expectations a bit, and you can do the exact same thing I am talking about, just at a lower level. And it would still it's still worthwhile to do that, by the way, because what I'm suggesting to do is acquire businesses, online businesses specifically, that make money, that tend to have very good chances of having meteoric growth, right? Or at least far faster growth, far faster paced growth than say your traditional brick and mortar business or traditional stocks and real estate, right? Obviously a lot more risky, but you wouldn't be on this channel if you didn't love the risk, right? So the absolute simplest way to make $500,000 this year is to buy a business that will already spit off the $500,000. It's that simple, right? So what would a business cost? How much money would you need to put in to buy a business that would give you $500,000 profit per year? Well, I hope you enjoy sticker shock. It's right around $1.8 million. So right around there. Obviously valuations are a transient thing, but a $1.8 million business would be able to give this to you a lot of the times. Now, obviously valuations are going up, so that might creep up, but already you're probably seeing a problem like, holy crap, I might not have $1.8 million to go spend on this, and that's okay. Now, obviously this is going to take you capital, and this leads me to another point that sometimes people think about, like, okay, if I'm going to buy a $1.8 million business, I know what to do. Zero money down, low money down. I'm not going to use any of my money. OPM, Robert Kiyosaki is telling me to use other people's money. I got to do OPM. But this is not actually a good strategy for you. So if you don't have $1.8 million, yes, you could, in fact, raise the money and not use any of your own personal capital at all. But I'm telling you, that is a very hard road to go down, especially if you've never done anything like this before. And I have an entire video telling you why that is actually quite difficult, which I'll link down below. Now, on a side note here, there is a relatively easier way to get this kind of money that you don't have to use as much of your own money. You still have to use some of your money, but again, it only works if you have a track record of success, and that is the Empire Capital Operators Program, which I'll link it down below. If you want to apply to be an operator at EFC, you can definitely do that, and that is one way to use financing through investors to go and buy bigger businesses. But again, both of these strategies, like using zero your personal capital or doing EFC, really requires you to be somewhat of a veteran, someone who knows what you're doing in order for this to be successful. So again, not a newbie way of going about it. So what's another way we can make $500,000 in 2022 that isn't going to burn an absolute hole in your wallet? So I'm going to give you 3 ways to make $500,000 that doesn't cost you $1.8 million to do in 2022, or again, whatever year we're in. So the first one is understanding engines of growth. You can buy a business that is significantly less than that $1.8 million. And if you know what you're doing, you understand how the business works, you can just grow it to that valuation, right? Maybe you buy a $1 million business and you are able to grow that business by say 120% or something like that over a period of a year, which that sounds absolutely nuts, but yeah, you've seen it happen many times. You see, with online business, you can get these kind of growths because unlike a lot of traditional businesses out there, you actually have access to all these tools of leverage, like display ad networks, first party data, email marketing lists. There's so many different things you can do that once you really get into the weeds of things, you can actually grow things quite quickly. So these are not unheard of numbers. Now, still aggressive, right? But you don't have to be that aggressive. You can say, I grew this business by 20%. If you bought $1 million business, that's 1.2 million, right? So you can grow businesses. You can buy it for less than 1.8 million and grow it into that. Now, this is the more unsure way. If you're going to make 500K, right? You definitely could. And I'm going to give you a tip on how you can do it with one of the other ways coming up. But obviously, you still need to know your stuff. You need to know what you're going to do, or what you're going to plan, and you need to crunch it fast in order to get that scale, to get to that 500K within that 1 year time frame we're giving to each other. But hey, if you do this and say you earn an extra 250K in that year and you earn like another 300K the next year, you're probably going to be all right? You're probably not going to be sad about that. I mean, maybe, you really will be heartbroken to get to the 500K, but on that trajectory, you're probably going to get to it on year 3. And hey, that's still a great amount of money to earn. The next thing to look at is add-on services. So when you go and buy a business, or build one rather, it doesn't matter which way you go in this example, you will often be building out a team, building out processes, and through that, you can actually launch an add-on service. So for example, I have a friend, he's exited several Amazon FBA businesses. He's been a joint venture in many different FBA businesses. And throughout this process, he really learned how to create this entire outsourced logistics supply chain. Like he created his own team to do it because there wasn't a good solution for his own brands. Then he rolled that team, those processes, into another business that is just doing absolute crazy numbers now, in addition to the actual FBA businesses that they are still running, right? So these opportunities happen as you focus on a single business model, focus on growing it and really understanding a process. They say a master of one is better than a jack of all trades, or however that saying go. I actually believe being a jack of all trades and be a master of one is better, right? Having all these generalist skills that takes you as that you need as an entrepreneur to run this business, but really diving deep into one area that you become extremely efficiently good at can lead to you creating an add-on service that allows you to use your network of peers, because let's face it, entrepreneurs tend to network with other entrepreneurs to sell them on their add-on service. So this is another way you can reach that 500K, and because it is a service business, you tend to be able to scale relatively quickly and painlessly up to a certain point. So if you have a business that's raking in, say, $250,000, $300,000, and you do an add-on service, it is not super unreasonable if you are a hustler, you have good processes, good systems, to make that extra 200K to get to that 500K, and you use your actual business that you're running and building as the impetus of what started that service. I have so many friends who have done this, where their own business ends up creating their own agency, creates their own software tool that nothing else was solving the problem that they had. And now the software tool balloons into their main business. I've seen this happen in many different iterations and permutations. And it's something to consider as you're building your business. What is your superpower as an entrepreneur? Because that can be a hidden add-on service that can make you some significant money. So the next one here is flipping a business. So to understand flipping a business is the second part of our name, right? Empire Flippers. It's quite simple to understand the concept, at least. You buy a business for a certain amount of money, you put in the work for it, and then you sell that business for a significantly more amount of money, right? You flip it, just like real estate. You buy a piece of real estate, fix it up, you flip it. You buy a business, you grow it, you flip it, right? Same exact concept. So how can we use the concept of flipping a business to get to us to an extra $500,000 that we make this year? Well, the beautiful thing about flipping is you actually need significantly less capital to be able to do this. You remember at the beginning of this video, I talked about a $1.8 million nut that you're going to have to blow to acquire this business. You do not need to have anywhere close to that amount of money to make it happen if your buyer business model includes flipping businesses that you bought. So in this case, let's say we are going to buy a $250,000 business. It's making right around $6,000 per month or $72,000 per year. pretty solid business, right? Obviously, we still have to have some significant capital on hand to buy this business, but you'll see in a minute why we need significantly less once we do what we're going to do to this business. So our aim for this business isn't like some insane growth like I talked about earlier. It is reasonably aggressive growth, but still very much within the realm of possibilities, and that is a 30% growth. And at this stage, at a $250,000 level, there you have some real levers, and the business isn't so big where 30% is like this titanic number. It's actually quite an easy number to achieve if you know what you're doing. So let's say we go and buy like an affiliate website or an FBA business, we should have our quick wins checklist, right? Of what we're going to do with the business, increasing pricing on products, because we all know entrepreneurs tend to undercharge themselves, do A/B split testing on our sales pages or our Amazon listing pages to make sure our traffic converts better, making supply chain easier and cheaper and more aerodynamic, so to speak. All of these things that we do, the CRO we do to our website, right? Conversion rate optimization, the on-page SEO we do for us if SEO is a major traffic channel for us. All these things that we do should increase that $250,000 business easily enough by 30%, or within the realm of reasons, within the realm of reality that we're able to do that. Now, that 30% increase to your business brings your business valuation to $375,000. Plus, at the end of the year, you're looking at banking $72,000. And that's just from your actual net profit cash flow, right? So technically you're looking right at $447,000. And that is like pretty close to 500K, right? But here's the thing. You actually are probably over that 500K or pretty close to the 500K, because in this example, I did not take the increase, that 30% increase to your monthly cash flow into account. So say that 30% increase happened on month 6 of you owning this site or this business, and then you have another 6 months of earning that $6,000 plus 30%, you're going to get very close to that 500K offer. And what's interesting here is in a year of owning a business like this, of doing this kind of stuff, your valuation will actually probably be higher than that 447 that I quoted earlier, or that 375 I quoted earlier, because your business is older. And so businesses that are older, that have a longer historical track record, they tend to get a better multiple bump. So there's a good chance that your site will actually be selling at a higher multiple than what you bought it for, simply because it is older, it is making more money, and it is on an upward trajectory. These are all really healthy signs for a multiple bump. So if you want more ideas on how you can make $500,000 this year, I'm going to link down below a blog post written by my content manager, Sarah, that she goes over how to make an extra 100K, an extra 250K, or 250K and an extra 500K. So if you want to read about that, go ahead and click the link down below. And if you are ready, like, you know what, Greg, I've heard enough, make me $500,000. There is a link down below where you can register for our marketplace and spend $1.8 million to buy that business. Talk to you later. Bye.